add a couple of the little extra things that you need just to keep a hamster happy as well. So of course the first couple of things you want are food and water, so I've put in a regular food bowl, which is just about big enough for her to sit in, perfect size for a hamster, and a water bottle. This is a mouse water bottle, again perfect size for a hamster, they don't drink much water. Now I'm going to go ahead and put her house in there. Of course hamsters need houses in order to sleep in them, feel safe, feel secure, and it's just her regular little house is not very big, but an average size for a hamster home. So the next most important thing is the wheel, and this is just a regular dwarf-sized wheel, 8 inches, nothing fancy, nothing extremely big. So the wheel does fit in there quite snugly and she's really enjoying running on it already, but these are just the bare essentials: food, water, housing, exercise, the things she needs to keep her alive and generally healthy. But what about giving her quality of life? Well, now I'm going to add in a couple of extra things as well, and we're going to see how the space works out then. First of all, because hamsters have continuously growing teeth, we're going to have to put in a couple of different chew toys. Okay, so she's got a couple of chew toys. Now what about actual stimulation? Toys she can really play with and have fun. Before I put a couple of toys in there, I'm actually going to put in her litter tray, because most hamster owners do litter train their hamsters. So that's her litter tray down in the front corner, but what about toys? Now hamsters are burrowing animals, so they do like to play with tubes and tunnels, so it's a nice thing to offer them. So I managed to get the tube in there. It was a bit fiddly and there isn't much space left, and people could argue that it's because the tube is too big, but that's not really the point. As you can see looking down on the cage, we have the bare essentials of food, water, housing, exercise. Chew toys kind of come under bare essentials because hamsters do have to chew things to keep their teeth down. You've got a litter tray, which I suppose is optional, and you have a tunnel. But once you've put those things in, there is no space left over for Amylaze to actually play and actually enjoy running around, exploring, digging, all the other things that hamsters should get to enjoy doing. And although there seems to be a lot of stuff in such a tiny cage, there isn't really any stimulation. Nothing that's going to get her excited, nothing that's going to get her brain going, keep her entertained, keep her active. It's barely any more than the absolute basics, and she doesn't really have enough room to do anything else in her cage. You can certainly see just by looking on it why a hamster in one of these cages is not going to be that happy, they're not going to have that much stimulation, and they're going to display some bad behaviour, including bar chewing, monkey barring, and even some antisocial behaviours like not being tameable, nipping, biting, being loud, making screeching noises, which some hamsters do like to do, and other behaviour that you wouldn't witness in a healthy, happy hamster. Okay, so we did this with a dwarf hamster, but what about Syrian hamsters? They're the most popular species of hamster kept as pets, so I think it's important that we do this test with a Syrian as well. Okay, so now we've got Einstein in here, who's a Syrian, like I say, the most popular species of hamster, and these cages are of course sold towards Syrians as well. So I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did with Amylaze. I'm going to put its bare essentials in there and try and fit some other things around it too. So we have the water bottle still attached just to make things easier. I'm going to put his food bowl in. Now of course his food bowl is bigger because he's a Syrian, and hamsters do like to sit on their food to protect it. It's a safety thing, it's a natural instinct, so you want their bowls to be nice and big. So we've got food and water. Let's go ahead and put some chew toys in there to keep those teeth nice and worn down. Of course he's going to need his house for sleeping in, and Syrians, being bigger hamsters, need bigger houses. This is the smallest kind of house that I would say you can actually give to a Syrian where they can sleep in it happily, and Einstein is a small Syrian, he's only 100 grams. Syrians can be as big as 300 plus grams, so 3 times his size. Okay, so food, water, chew toys, housing. Let's put a tube in for him to play with. Again, Syrians, bigger hamsters, they need bigger tubes. Now you can probably already see where I'm going with this one. Syrians are bigger hamsters, they have bigger things, bigger tubes, bigger houses, bigger bowls, all that stuff is much bigger, and of course it takes up more room, and look how much space just a couple of things have already taken up. And I haven't even put in one of the most essential things, of course, the hamster wheel. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in his hamster wheel. Again, this is just a normal sized hamster wheel. It's only 11 inches, it's nothing giant, it's not some big rat wheel or a ferret wheel or anything, just a regular 11-inch hamster wheel. Okay, so I had to shuffle a few things around, but we got the wheel in, didn't we? Slight problem here because Einstein has now gotten out of the cage and has gone on hiatus. So this for me is the absolute biggest problem with these cages when it comes to Syrians. It's the wheel, because wheels are so important to get them the right size. You need a hamster wheel that allows your hamster to run with a straight spine. Anything that allows your hamster's spine to curve can cause back problems, arthritis, back deformities, all sorts of horrible illnesses and injuries. So for a cage to not have the option to give your hamster a wheel that isn't going to cause it serious health problems is just crazy. Not only is there the clearly obvious problem with the height and the wheel, but there is absolutely no room for anything else in that cage. Absolutely nothing, and I haven't even put any proper toys in there. There's nothing exciting to keep him entertained or stimulated. It's, again, the bare essentials. So I know this video isn't necessary for most of you because I'm sure if you're one of my subscribers watching, you know how important it is to get a decent sized cage for your hamster. I just think this really hammers home the point of how little pet shops know about the care of hamsters. For them to be selling these kind of tiny cages, and for manufacturers to continue making these kinds of cages, and of course for people to continue buying them, it really hammers home just how little hamster care is promoted out there. So I definitely know this cage is going to stick to being my travel cage. They make amazing and excellent travel cages, so don't be afraid to buy them for that purpose. But please, whatever you do not be trying to keep your hamster in one of these full time. As you can see, it's just not possible to give a hamster a happy and enjoyable life in one of these cages. So now it's your turn to help out. If you know of someone who keeps a hamster in one of these type of cages, why not send them this video just so they can watch it and perhaps learn a little bit more about hamster care. It's nobody's fault if you keep your hamster in one of these kind of cages. We've all done it with our first hamsters, and it's pet shops and manufacturers who are really to blame. They continue to falsely advertise these as suitable homes for hamsters and push them onto pet owners with deals and offers where they can buy their pet and get one of these cages for half price or free. These cages shouldn't even be in pet shops unless they're being marketed as travel cages. So don't blame the owner because it's often not their fault. Everyone just needs a little push in the right direction to find a good source of education, whether that be from hamster forums, books, websites, or YouTube channels. The best way to get rid of these tiny cages completely is to educate people, because the more we educate, the less people will buy these cages, the smaller the demand for them will be, and the quicker we'll see them off pet shop shelves altogether. So educate, don't hate, and share this video with a fellow hamster owner. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye bye! Hello guys, this is a video that has been requested of me endlessly for ever and ever and ever, and I've never really got around to doing it, so hopefully we will get this done today. This is going to be a tutorial-ish video on how to make a bin cage. Now, because my bin cage